Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder, it's Devoid here. I've got a 1v1 multiplayer game on Kosovo map. I'm using Russia and my opponent's using Germany, but this is another post featuring my early Second War Factory build. I thought I'd continue and keep testing it and post the results basically and show the build again, so you can watch it over a few videos and see how it goes. I'll use it again, in future. Use it on a few different maps and things, kind of learn the kind of map that it suits, and then I'll know better when to apply the build order, when to use it, when it's relevant or not. But my opponent looks like he's securing 2 oil derricks, and you divide your force doing that, but if I focus my force in one and can defeat either of these forces, I can only do it at one location at a time. So it does give him intel there. I've just wasted those 3 guys. But it does give you the intel, he knows where I am, and then he can focus the rest of his resources together and take me on, although I haven't got the view range yet. I've got enough to stop him. And his engineer was pulled back in time. Now I've got the view range benefit of the oil derrick, I can back away, and then I thought, no, I'll just fall back, save the assets, and, I've captured it, but I'll abandon it. At least he's not earning from it. And my opponent's taken this central oil derrick, so it's 2-1 at the moment, and there's my first war factory. So, as I've said before, this build order is normal up until the service depot is placed. But normally, after your 2 refineries, you build a war factory. Obviously, there's 2 refineries and a power plant. But here you go, there's another engagement here, and my opponent has got the better formation here. But luckily, I've extended the formation as well into a better one. But you build your 2 refineries, power plant, and then the war factory, and then the 3rd refinery, which I'm about to place now, is normal. And then you build your service depot, which I am doing now. But if after you've placed your service depot, you normally build a power plant and 3 barracks to get infantry production early, get the troop infantry training quicker. Because the more barracks you have, up to 7, the faster they train. And I'm taking this central oil derrick now. But the more barracks you have, the quicker they train. So, having 4 as early as possible, you need it. But now I've placed the service depot, instead of placing a power plant and 3 barracks, I'm building my second war factory now. So you would have to pay attention to the situation, but if it does go against you, look, he's sent a snipe. And he's got my engineer, but I captured it in time, luckily, so it wasn't a waste. But if the situation goes against you any time before this point, you can abandon the build order and go back to normal. If things are looking bad and you've lost your starting army and you haven't got any credits because you've lost all your units and you can't produce any more, then you don't have to produce this second war factory. You can carry on with the normal build order. So there is contingencies and margin of error in it. And there you go, I'm checking this bottom oil derrick as well, and I've lost my engineer, but I was looking to make sure he wasn't capturing it. There's my MCV. Moving out, just after 4.5 minutes. So there's my power plant now. I've placed the second war factory, a power plant and 3 barracks, but because I've moved out with this MCV, I can place my barracks at expansion points. And now that's there, my MCV's there, I can then, this one is free, yeah look, I've done it straight away, this one is free to move out. But my opponent is recapturing this oil derrick over here, and I didn't notice that because I was busy, look, this is, I was busy working through my build order, and I've got my tank production underway, and as soon as the first tank is built, they're already building at the increased rate of 21 instead of 27 seconds, or 28, whatever it is. So as soon as the first tank is starting to build, they're actually building at faster rate straight away from the first tank. That's a nice little feature of this build order, and the fact that it doesn't interfere with the standard build. Plus, if things go against you early, you don't have to commit to this build, but the guy's capturing that, look, he's now moved on and he's capturing this oil derrick, and it's over halfway before I've reacted. But luckily, this rifleman catches him just in time, and the second burst of assault rifle fire killed him. But I've positioned units here with an APC for screening, and there's some veterans, look, but I've positioned them here to cut off this expansion. If he moves an MCV out here this way, and he's not careful, it'll blunder straight into them. So that's what they're doing there. But the longer the game goes on, the more vulnerable a group like this is, because I bet there's only about 4 rockets. In this group. 1, 2, yeah, exactly, yeah, there's 4 rockets, so it's not a powerful group of units. Soon after the early game is over, this kind of group of units is ineffective. They haven't got tanks for screening, they've only got 4 rockets, so they're not capable of much. So I'm just sacrificing veteran units by not making use of them. So they either need to be used early and do the job like they're meant for here, stopping an expansion. Now, most players would have expanded to this point, at least, you know, some they would have investigated by now, so something would have happened, but I still have to make use of them or send them back to the rest of my army, because I'm sending out rifle scouts and stuff, and I'm expanding here, but I've got my first expansion refinery set up, and now my second expansion refinery, but I sold this one for power. So I would normally have 5 at this point, and the 6th one is about to be built because I'm about to place my power plant, and then I'm building another barrack, so it looks like I want to build up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, that's right. After my expansion refineries, I do need to get up to 7 barracks as early as possible, but at least while I'm placing them, I am securing expansions with it, because I've now got production at all 3 expansion sites. Look, there's a barracks here, and a barracks here. You know, there's one up there, look. So I've got production at all of my expansions, plus 2 of them have got refineries anyway. So it works, it's still working, you know, this build. Plus, like I say, you don't have to commit to it if things go badly early on, but I've decided to use this force. I've gone on an eco raid and I've destroyed an ore truck there, look, but now his helicopter's attacking and I've gone for a power plant. It's all I can do to make use of this initial force. That force there is attacking his expansion. There you go, I did get that. Now I should have moved my APC back. I think I was busy elsewhere, look here, but yeah, the APC's gone. But my opponent sent a force here, it's gone too far and there are no vehicles with it. It's too far, too wide, but yeah, he's lost 2 ore trucks, I've hit his expansion, and he does have troops protecting it, just not enough. Now the MCV should be running and all of his units should be gathering here about now. The MCV should have run when I said. He should have sold that and run with his MCV. All his units should be gathering here, using his structures to screen them. And then those units can fight next to the barracks that are producing more, and the tanks can screen them, and the buildings can also do the same and give them view range. Now you see he's falling back, that's right, that's what you do, but you should have done it earlier. But that's good. And he saw that I moved away. Now he's immediately manoeuvred here to protect this eco patch, so that was a really nice manoeuvre. Excuse me, and the way he's caught me here at this corner is very nice. So I had to press stop command with some units locked straight away, and then get these tanks up front, because that was a lovely little manoeuvre. It was only a very simple basic command, but it was perfect. And I've sent a couple of units split off up here in case he was mining here, but he wasn't. But that was a nice manoeuvre that he did there. That was nice to see. A very nice, effective defensive manoeuvre, and it's enabled him to defeat a superior force. But I did have my attention elsewhere. Look, this force here is attacking, but without... See, I've got nothing there, I've got a tank, but without a vehicle, the base defences will just incinerate your infantry. And then now I've got primary production here, because that's already pre-arranged before I'm expanded. And that's it, they've fought them off. I didn't know I'd killed them all, but I have. And this small set of units fell back from here, and retreated, so I've did save some. They can now... There you go, he's called it. So that's that. And my finishing army, we'll have a look at the finishing army in a minute. But yeah, that's that. And his army graph, he was, up until there must have been an initial clash here at 5 minutes, because he was catching up, but it was just he was behind me for the first few minutes because of some of his build order, obviously. But he then wasn't increasing his army size at the same rate. And then there's been some engagement at 8.5 minutes, and that's it. He's decreased in army size since. Whereas I just stopped slightly growing in army size quite as much. Not as quickly, I mean. I was still, after this engagement started, I was still increasing my army size. And then I started to increase my army size even quicker. And then I took some losses, and then replaced them immediately. And that's where the game ended. So it was difficult, you know, for my opponent. That army graph shows it. Here's the earnings, equal, and then equal up to here. So, yeah, we diverged in earnings. He didn't expand quickly enough. I think it was because he didn't go here soon enough. He moved up here all right, and he didn't even go here. So he didn't expand enough. And the force that he sent to attack went too far around. It's way too far. Yeah, I won't have a clue it's there most of the time, although I do post units at the edges of the maps, so I would discover them usually, but that was way too far out of their way. Plus, but the good thing is, if they do go that way, you do get the chance to send a vehicle to meet up with them just before the attack, and you can do that later. So if they take that long to get there, that is at least one positive side. You can send a vehicle or two to meet up with them just before you attack. So you can do that. If you can send infantry forces on their own, as long as by the time they arrive you've sent something that can move quickly to catch up with them and screen them. Don't use them without a screening force of some kind. But there's the earnings graph. My finishing army, 13 heavy tanks by the looks of it. Plenty of troops and that. Yes, I have got support powers. Somehow I've just placed a forward airfield, look, but the combat chart, I killed 120, my opponent killed 87, but I've got a 30,000 army value at the 10-minute mark now, and there was a bit of combat. Yeah, I'll admit it wasn't heavy aggressive combat and my opponent didn't attack much, but it was testing a new build order and it appears to be working okay. It's able to produce army mass, so if it was tested, you know, it'd be able to fight, because these guys would give you a nice screening force early. Right from the first tank, they are being built every 21 seconds instead of every 27 or 28. So it's an immediate advantage in tank production. So I wonder, it'd probably be quite good with the Allies, because they can produce a tank a lot quicker anyway. So you probably end up with quite a lot of medium tanks, or light tanks. You'd end up with a little army. Imagine how many light tanks you could have by this point if I've ended up with 13 heavies after the combat. You know, that's an interesting thought. You want some Tesla coils to deal with those little blighters, because they're quick. Light tanks, very quick. They can hit your power plants early and get out of there, and they're a nightmare. So you need to start placing Tesla coils to zap them as soon as they come close. But your Tesla coils need to go near to your refineries, so that when you're attacked you can get your ore trucks to retreat to the refineries, and the light tanks, if they want to attack you, they'll have to get zapped. So it's sort of, you know, you have to start placing Tesla coils against masses of light tanks. But here's the production tab I'm still building. Economy tab, I earned 74, my opponent 44 in thousands, but I've got 3 oil derricks. I ended up with, and neither of us, well, my opponent may have captured that, I'm not certain. Economy tab, got a bit of cash left. Basics, yeah, I'm relaxed 26 actions per minute. My opponent's very similar at 25. So there you go, there's a second post for the second early war factory build. I wonder, it seems to be looking quite like an effective build to me, like it works. So we'll see how it works against, say, different kinds of opponents on different maps. So as usual, if you like what you saw and you think the build order works, let us know what you think of it in the comments. And if you like what you see, give us a sub and a like. And take good care of yourselves as always. And until next time, viewers, thank you very much. And for now, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.